Voice is an innovative grants facility that supports the most marginalized and discriminated people in 10 countries in Africa and Asia, aiming at amplifying and connecting the unheard voices with the principle of leaving no one behind. After 5 years of voice implementation in Uganda, we wish to take you on a journey to show the footprints of rights holders and grantees in addressing abuse, marginalization, and discrimination of the less fortunate members of society.
Voice has worked with persons living with disability who are prevented from living to their full potential because of physical, mental, visual, and hearing impairments. Through the albinism umbrella, Voice has empowered persons with albinism, discriminated and marginalized because of their physical appearance, to attain education, fight stigma and kidnap for ritual sacrifices, and gain employment.
We are a voice for persons with albinism through advocating for our human rights and ensuring that we get our full potential.
I know what it means by a person living with albinism. And what I had gone through, I don't want any other person to go it through. So we need to create awareness to everyone. Just admit that you are the one with the problem, then you look for possible ways of solving the problem.
Voice is supporting visually impaired vulnerable women through Arua District Blind Women Association to attain self-help and economic empowerment.
Our women with disabilities have been suffering at homes. For example, when they are sick, they find it so challenging to access health facilities. But now they've gotten to know that it's a right that anybody with disability has got a right to access any health facility, any social services.
Prejudice within the community. At times you're trying to change the face of the world, you're trying to change the community, their attitude, but people are saying, you mean they can also do this? At times you also feel discouraged.
I have one hand, but I do everything. People outside with the disabilities, let's not beg. We are able, and the motto says, disability does not mean inability, and that is true. We should not just see going to the roadside and begging. Let's move ahead.
The Uganda National Action for Physical Disability worked to improve access of sexual reproductive health care services among youth and women with disabilities through several advocacy efforts that resulted into several improvements in the lives of youth and women with disabilities.
So when they gave me this project of Voice, Sexual and Reproductive Health Rights, it was a very, very good eye-opener for me to go out to learn and then go out and teach others. First of all, myself, I learned that I have a right to sex, to marriage, to make a choice of a partner, and to have sex by choice, not by force. So,
access to education has often been a challenge among several youths in Uganda, particularly youths with disabilities, resulting into low enrollment, high school dropouts due to unplanned pregnancies, poor primary school completion rates.
Advocacy through music, or amplifying the voices of persons living with autism through music. It has really done a great change. We have seen some participants living with autism, they have really improved in their communication skills. They have learned how to socialize with one another, since the project enables participants from the community to be part of us. So we socialize, we do different activities, and so we have seen a lot of change.
We have also supported age-discriminated vulnerable groups through the Uganda Reach the Age Association and Help Age International.
I had passed the interview, but they couldn't take me because they said I was old. I was an older person. That really touched my heart, and I said, well, people can be discriminated because of their age.
These partners with Voice in implementing a 2-year action research project Understand and Challenge Ageism campaign to document the number of older persons facing discrimination and abuse with a view of informing policy and programming.
Sorak Development Agency worked through the Teen to Teens project, used community theatre approaches to raise voices on sexual reproductive health and education, rights of the voiceless young girls and youth with disabilities in Mubende district.
Voice supported Sorak from 2018 to 2020 in a project titled Teens to Teens.
nga tuyimba nga tusomesa abantu ebintu ebyenjawulo. Twagenda nga tusomesa abantu okusomesa abaana obutaleka abaana bawala mabega oluusi mbu omwana omuwala bw'akula mwalina okufumbirwa nedda ng'ebyo byonna tubiyisa mu nnyimba nga tubibasomesa.
Sensitize Uganda took on the initiative to enhance secondary school students' civic participation through mock elections. The initiative empowered secondary school students with civic education as a tool to enhance their civic participation in the Uganda general elections in January 2021.
We proposed to Voice that we wanted to enhance the civic participation of young people, especially the young people in secondary schools, to understand their civic responsibilities, to understand their civic rights when they are at a young age before some of them become of the voting age.
This experience taught me how to be very confident and very audible among a big sum of people.
Sensitize Uganda was able to bring out the requirements needed for a voter to take participation in an election, and I endeavored that I had all the qualifications and requirements needed for the general election right before it started.
Youth with disabilities often struggle to find employment after their training because most employers perceive them as non or underproductive in comparison with non-disabled youths.
I'm born with a disability. I was despised severally in different places. I completed my diploma in business studies at UCC Tororo. I tried looking for a job, moving office to office, but because of my disability, people didn't really trust me to do their jobs. So through Sheshare, it was once then a counselor of disability came and identified me, and through Sheshare, we went there and I got this job. I thank God I'm able to provide for my daughter and also to my mother. I really thank Voice so much, and I will also ask them to continue funding Sheshare services such that they can go out and reach to the youths who are stuck and stranded down in the villages.
Voice is working with several civil society organizations such as Fitch in uplifting the economic status of women in northern Uganda facing exploitation, abuse and violence. To overcome challenges of land conflict, poverty, poor health and low employment opportunities, Voice is building life skills, financial literacy, promoting land rights and supporting women through village saving and loan association to start and grow incomes.
We want them empowered so that at the end of it all, they are self-reliant, they are not dependent.
In northern Uganda, Voice partnered with several grassroots organizations to uplift the socio-economic status of women in a society affected by the long protracted guerrilla war. Women Nutrition and Sanitation Program is one of the organizations that has partnered with Voice to empower women and girls in Lango sub-region.
I had some piece of land I was buying and there was a balance remaining, so it is this group which helped me to pay the remaining balance. I saved some little money and I was able to start a house, and that house is on window level.
I want to thank the WNSP for supporting the women who are together. We come, we do our savings every Saturday. Not only that, it is helping me to pay up my tuition. I also brought other members in the group I borrowed again the money. That was 2.2. I went to Nairobi, I came back, I made some profit out of it, and the business is still continuing up to now.
We have also partnered with Platform for Labor Action to regulate the domestic work sector in Uganda and improve the lives of domestic workers facing extreme violation and abuse.
The domestic workers sector is one of the 3 sectors which employ 50% of women in Uganda. And also when you look at Uganda as a country, there is a growing number of women joining both the formal and informal employment. That means that the role played traditionally by women at a household level is left for the domestic workers to fill in the gaps.
I've learned the rights, my responsibilities as a domestic worker, which in the first place I didn't know about. I have a right to food, I have a right to my salary, a right to talk about a contract before working for someone.
Twalinga oluusi bakama baffe ofunye bosi wo bw'aba ng'akunyaze ssente nga takusasudde tolina woyinza kuddukira bakuyambe. Naye baatuyigiriza engeri gye tukola ki nti balina balooya be bayinza kutuyamba boobwereere. Nga ffe ba domestic workers tetulina ssente zigula looya. Kati ntulaba ffe nga kituyambye nnyo. Kati nitukola ki ne tuyiga tulina we tuyinza naffe kuddukira ne tufuna obuyambi.
Poverty at household level among women and youth is driven by limited access to productive resources such as land, unemployment, and lack of skills. Global Rights Alert has implemented interventions to empower women and youth in the extractives industry to participate in decision-making and improve their working conditions, which are often characterized by exploitation.
For us as women, we have actually benefited from this mining, but we have some problems there. But we have not been having pits. We have been using, we have been buying sand and we put it somewhere, and then we after making it, then we get some gold and we sell it some to other people. But now, as women, we said, why can't we form an association? And then we after forming our association, and then we get our own pit, and then we start making our own money.
Women's empowerment cannot be fully attained without political empowerment. Whereas Uganda has made progress in increasing women's political representation, there are capacity gaps that affect their effectiveness.
We implemented the program in 3 districts, and our targets are women in leadership, but also women at different local level like VSLA groups, women at different leadership positions. What has happened with the Voice project, which is very unique to us, is we use a strategy that has really been uncommon, that is mentorship and coaching of women, and also caucusing at local level. Our target are women councillors, so what we did is train them in caucusing, because you understand their level of illiteracy. We have a problem with women level of education, and that has affected women participation at leadership level.
We have seen men being able to appreciate women. We have seen men being able to respond to the needs of their families, and we have also seen men being able to support their women to join political leadership. As a result of the trainings that we conducted in the past year, we had 4 women who contested with men for the position of LC3, and they were able to go through because they mobilized fellow women to support for the female candidate.
Indigenous groups and ethnic minorities such as the Basongora of Western Uganda, the Batwa residing in Western and Southwestern Uganda, and the Benet on the slopes of Mount Elgon in Eastern Uganda are some of the marginalized persons Voice has targeted and worked with to build their capacity to fight for their rights.
I don't support the practice of FGM because I believe it's harmful, I believe it hurts.
If my husband is circumcised,
and I'm not circumcised. During circumcision season, so when they want to circumcise my boy, they use that chance to force the woman to be circumcised.
Led by Legal Aid Service Providers Network, LASPNet, and Strategic Link, Voice Linking and Learning has created a set of activities and platforms that bring together grantees to enhance work and productivity, allow for self-reflection, learning or unlearning some aspects to become better, and to connect with each other and share and learn from each other.
It has made me meet even people whom I never expected to meet, like people with albinism and the people with the disability, how far they have gone to reach out to the marginalized communities. It's high time that I can reach out even and advocate for the people with the disability and people with the albinism.
I would love particularly that we train more in documentation, because I feel like we're doing so much work, but we're not bringing it out to show the real changes that we are making in our lives, in the lives of the right holders, and that needs to be showcased so that at the end of the day we can see those changes in real life time, but also see impact for projects that have already shown some little bit of impact.
Whereas our journey has been characterized by rapids and falls, we are proud of what we have attained thus far. We are continuing to give a voice to the voiceless in our efforts to leave no one behind.